Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I'm so ready for these cup games to be over with so we can get like normal schedules every single day because it's been rough, man. Luckily, we have a slate for tomorrow, and then we have the finals for the cup on Tuesday, and then we're back to normal slates every single day. So I'll have videos every single night, unless I am like sick or anything. That does happen once or twice a year where I have to miss like a week. Hopefully not this year. Been pretty good. Haven't gotten sick in a while. All right. For you guys that don't know me, I am Shook. I've been playing professional DFS for a few years now. Make content for it. All these videos they get posted to this subreddit right here. My username is Shook. I will have the link to this video down below in the comments. I make updates with all the news that comes out for the slate and what it changes from this video because sometimes stuff does change a lot. So I will have that Reddit link down below. And then I will have my Twitter account down below where if you ever need to message me, you can get a hold of me privately. And then if you're looking for more in-depth content, I will have my Discord linked down below. I post sportsbook plays in there, private videos for DFS, player pools to give you guys core plays, all that jazz. I post sportsbook plays on Twitter if you guys are into sportsbooks. I posted three. No, I posted three on Twitter today. Went 2-1. So if you're tailing, you would have made money. So yeah, I'll have that link down below. I'll have all the links down below. We'll get into my lineups for tomorrow. I don't want to look. I mean, okay, Jason Tatum, 10% owned. Kristaps Porzingis, 10% owned. I did two lineups. I did a game stack of Washington, Boston. Everyone smashed that I played in that game. Jordan Poole smashed. Tatum smashed. Block Coulibaly smashed. Champagny smashed. And then I had Porzingis get injured at half, who was smashing. So that lineup, most likely dead. My other lineup, I forget who I have in it. I don't know. We'll see. I'll just recap them in tomorrow night's video. You guys know I don't sweat my lineups. Had a pretty good NFL day, though. I cored Josh Allen in GPPs. That worked out pretty well. So, yeah, hopefully you guys had a great weekend. And we got a 6-game NBA slate for Monday the 16th. So, yeah, let's just hop right into it. Great matchup here for the Sixers. They're going to be without Joel Embiid and Caleb Martin. I'm so sad. We are cursed. You guys know I'm a diehard Sixers fan. It's just turmoil. Just depressing every single year. But I mean, listen, with no Joel Embiid, no Caleb Martin, there's a ton of usage, a ton more minutes to go around. So, with that being said, I would expect starting lineup to be Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Kelly Oubre, Yabusele, Andre Drummond, I would expect. Or they can go to one of the young guns here. I mean, at this point, why don't we just tank, right? Just give like the youngins some run. Ricky Council, KJ Martin. How old is KJ Martin? He's been in the league for a few years, I want to say. How old is he? He's 21. Okay, yeah. I mean, I remember playing him on the Rockets a decent amount. He was solid point per minute on the Rockets too. Not so much on the Sixers team. But yeah, I would expect that to be the starting lineup. They could change it up. I mean, can we not play Kyle Lowry too? Kyle Lowry's back. I believe he's been out. Let's just not play him. Just give the youngins run, like Ricky Council, KJ, etc., etc. So we'll see what they do. But Tyrese Maxey with the team to himself, Paul George with the team to himself. These two guys, they're going to dominate usage. They're going to do everything for this team. I like the matchup going up against Charlotte. I think both guys look great. Both guys are going to play 40 minutes in competitive games. No Joel Embiid. There's just so much more usage to go around. I think both guys look really good at the top here. I give the slight edge to Tyrese Maxey of the two. Kelly Oubre should play all the minutes he can handle. This rebounding not going to continue to happen, but he does normally have a lower floor. He can grab some rebounds, but I wouldn't expect a double-double again. I think the good thing with Kelly Oubre is he's a guy that's going to chuck when he's out there. For you guys into like revenge narratives and stuff like that, he always kills the Hornets. If you're into that stuff, I don't really look at that stuff ever. I believe this year he killed the Hornets. No, I thought he had a really good game against the Hornets this year. Guess not. how many times have we played the Hornets? But yeah, I like his ceiling in GPPs. Assuming Andre Drummond starts, I think he's one of the better plays in the mid range. Now, they kind of have trolled the minutes. Like, they can always go like Yabusele at the 5. They can always go. They control the minutes with both bigs. Actually, they can go smaller, right? So like not an absolute stone cold lock, but I think it looks amazing. So I really like Andre Drummond, assuming he starts at the 5. Yabusele, I don't know what to do with. After Joel Embiid went down, he didn't play in the second half barely. He got his one stint, didn't come back in. They went to more Drummond. They went smaller with KD Martin. Some kind of a little bit of a loss for words. What I want to do with Yabusele tomorrow. I think he's a good play at 5.2K. I think he's a good value. Just his rates at the 4 compared to the 5 are going to be a lot worse. But if he gets the minutes, he's going to smash at 5.2K with no Joel Embiid. So really like both the mid-range plays here in Andre Drummond and Yabusele. I'm pretty high on the Sixers team as a whole. And then, yeah, can we just play Ricky Council? Just play him. I think he's going to be a good part of this rotation, I think, no matter what, with no Caleb, no Joel Embiid, no Jared McCain now as well. So, yeah, like Ricky Council, just don't play. Can we not play Kyle Lowry, the dust of Reggie Jackson? Can we just give Ricky Council the run he deserves? Moving on to Charlotte. Solely depends on Solely depends on LaMelo Ball. If LaMelo Ball is in, I like him as a contrarian spin up. I mean, he's been one of the better producers for fantasy this year at a point per minute basis. Stat sheet stuffer, hopefully not on a limit, plays big minutes. I have no issue with him as a spin up. I think, Jokic looks good. I think Cade looks good. I really like James Harden and RJ Barrett tomorrow as well. So a lot of decent spin ups on the board. If LaMelo is back, I think Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, they're both priced right. Midget would be out of play for me. The bigger rotation, Nick Richards normally should get around 25-ish minutes. Don't love it, though. We have Mark Williams just absolutely smashed. Unplayable at 5.1K. This grouping of like Cody Martin, Jalen Green, or Josh Green, sorry. Not really too in love with there. If we get LaMelo out, then yeah, fire up Brandon Miller. I think Miles Bridges, he was on a limit last game. I think they'd slowly start upticking his minutes. He would be too cheap at 6.1K. If we get news that he's going to be like full go, then I'd really like him at that price. It would just be too cheap. The Mitchell would be a decent point per dollar play. The bigs don't change for me. Then you could start considering like Josh Green, Cody Martin, although they are priced right. Let's move on to Miami. Basically going to be fully healthy here. Good spot here going up against Detroit. Bam Adebayo should be able to feast in this spot. Just playing big minutes. Look at what he's distributing of late. Like, they're running a ton of offense through him, so I have no issue with Bam. I think he's a good point per dollar play. Tyler Herro, I do prefer to Jimmy Butler. Like the spot as well. Ceiling is just massive. So if everyone's going to play Butler tomorrow, it's going to be Tyler Herro. I don't even think it's close for me. And then we get into the value. So Drew Smith's been a pretty big part of this rotation. I would expect that to continue. I think he's a decent punt. Kind of like Duncan, just because the range of outcomes are so up and down. Like, some games he'll get benched, some games he'll play big minutes, and when he does get the minutes, he could break the slate at this price point. So, definitely like Duncan in GPPs. Jamie at 3.7K should play teens minutes, viable large field GPP dart. Highsmith, I'm not going to play. Also like Terry Rozier, just for the minutes, like mid-20s minutes at 4.5K. I do think he's a good value. I think it's a little bit too cheap. I know he's been so bad. It's a really tough click, but kind of liking the value here for Miami. Moving on to Detroit, Tobias Harris is out. Keep it on the starting lineup. I would assume Alzer just moves into the lineup. I believe he started one game this year, but he's been kind of on a limit. He got re-hurt, etc. Just keep an eye on the lineup. If we get like Alzer starting, playing around 20-25 minutes, be a really solid value. What else do we have here? You're going to get a bump for like Simone Fontecchio at 3.2K as well. Cade, I really like. I know it's not the best spot going up against Miami, but I still think the price point is just a little bit too cheap. Ivy, I feel, is priced appropriately. I don't know what to do with Jalen Duren. This guy has been so up and down this season. If you get him at low ownership tomorrow, I think it's completely fine. Great rebounding spot for him. Miami gives up the most rebounds to opposing centers in the league. It's just, what is this production? I don't know, man. I really don't know what to make of what's going on with Jalen Duren right now. The minutes are up in the air as well. Malik Beasley at 4.6. She'll play around 20 minutes. Not the price points down. I think he's kind of a similar play to like a Terry Rozier. And yeah, like Alzer if he starts, Tim Hardaway Jr., this guy too as well. I mean, my God, has he been bad this year. I think that's mainly it for Detroit. Let's move on to Cleveland. Fine spot here going up against Brooklyn. Evan Mobley is going to be back for this game. which means I'm not going to play guys like Dean Wade, Okoro, Jordan Niang. I think Karis LeVert is appropriately priced at 5K, but still has a ceiling, right? She'll play 25-ish minutes, stat sheet stuffer. Matchup up against Brooklyn, I want to say, isn't the greatest for. Actually, they're kind of missing like everyone, so it's fine. And then we got everyone priced up from when like people were injured. So like Evan Mobley, almost 8K, I think is okay. I think Darius Garland's priced right. I think I'd rather play Evan Mobley in a vacuum there. Jared Allen's priced up. Still has a ceiling though. Probably going to get you a double-double. Like the spot going up against Clax. And then Donovan Mitchell, probably your highest ceiling option on the Cavaliers. But like nothing standing out amazingly here for me on Cleveland. Let's move on to Brooklyn. So we gotta see what they're going to do with starting lineup. They could just slide Ben to the point and go Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, Ben Simmons, Dorian Finney-Smith, Keon Johnson. Or they could start Shake Milton. Or they could start Keon at the point and move someone else in. So we'll have to wait. I think the chalk answer, I think the chalk is probably just Ben at the point, would be my guess. So, but with Dennis Schroeder out there, there's so much usage to go around here. Dennis Schroeder was Cam Johnson, him, two highest usage players on the team, playing a ton of minutes as well. So there's just so much more usage to go around. It's like Cam Johnson, he is going to chalk. He is going to have probably a 30 plus 35% usage rate tomorrow. Love him. Going to play huge minutes. Not the best matchup here going up against Cleveland, but yeah, still, there's just so much more usage to go around. Now, if you want to fade him because of the matchup plus blowout risk, I think that's completely fine. I feel like he'll probably be somewhat chalky tomorrow. I think that's completely okay. Claxton at 6K, I feel like they're going to need his size out there going up against Cleveland, so she'll play around 30 minutes. I have no issue with that. Ben Simmons, I would think would have to play more in this spot. If we get like 25 plus minutes at Ben Simmons, if we get like close to 30, which probably won't happen, but if we get like 25 plus at 5.5K, doing all of the ball handling, and potentially playing some backup 5 as well, like that quite a bit. Dorian Finney-Smith is priced right, and then yeah, Keon Johnson, I feel like he's going to have to play a lot more than he has been. I like him for value. Shake Milton's going to have to play a lot. I really like Shake Milton for value, even if he comes off the bench. And then they're giving like Jalen Wilson, Trent Watford, these guys type runs, etc. Main interest here is like Cam Johnson, Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, Keon Johnson. Those would be my favorite plays on Brooklyn. Let's move on to Chicago. Solely depends on Zach LaVine here. Lonzo is probable. Vooch is probable. I love the matchup here. So if we get everyone in, I mean, I really like Vooch tomorrow as a center play. I think he should be able to feast in this spot. Normally in competitive games, and when he stays out of foul trouble, he's playing mid-30s minutes as well. So he's my favorite bull straight up. But I think LaVine looks good at 7.5. Giddey, Kobe White. I think Kobe White's a bit too cheap. Giddey, more of a GPP play between them, and I think Io's priced right. I wouldn't really get to much else here. Patrick Williams is back as well. Lonzo's too pricey. But if we get LaVine out, I think there's going to be a good amount to like here in a great spot. Vooch, I would absolutely love at 8.5K. I'd really like Giddey. I'd really like Kobe White. I think Io would be fine, but more appropriately priced. I think I'd rather just play Kobe at 6.4. Jalen Smith would look phenomenal. Patrick Williams, then, not Vooch out, LaVine out. So no to Jalen Smith. Apologies there. But this grouping of like, I would assume like Patrick Williams, Taylor Horton Tucker, they'd have to get a bit more run. They would be playable values as well. And then, yeah, I think that's it. Am I missing anyone? I don't think so. Yeah, Paul, they'll just play Paul more. I'd assume Paul would start, so it'd be Vooch, Giddey, Kobe, Io, Patrick Williams would be my guess, and then more run for, like I said, THT, etc., etc. Potentially like Buzelis, Lonzo Ball, but he's on a limit, right? Moving on to Toronto, great spot here. I love RJ Barrett at 9.1K. I think he's one of my more favorite GPP spend-ups. I don't think a ton of people will be on him either. I really like him. Jakob Poeltl, I wish Olynyk was out for this game. I really do, because with Olynyk back, there's a lot more range of outcomes for him losing minutes. But if you get him, like, he's not going to play 40 minutes. He's just not going to. That's not in the range of outcomes anymore, where he's playing 40 minutes a game. It's just not going to happen with Kelly Olynyk back. But if you get, like, a good game from him, and he plays, say, 33 minutes at that price point, I think he can nuke it. So, like Poeltl, really like RJ. The secondary plays, Ochai Abazi's fine. I'm not going to do it, but I have interest in Grady Dick. Really good spot for him. Chicago gives up a ton of 3 points. 3-point shots. Mogbo started last game, I believe. He played 30 minutes. Kind of got there in the blowout, but I expect him to start again. He looks pretty good. Jacoby Walter's playable off the bench at 4.4K. Davion's going to have to play a bit more. He's a fair value with no Scotty Barnes. Let's move on to Denver. Not the best matchup here going up against Sacramento. We have Jamal Murray probable and Christian Braun questionable. All right, if Braun is out, I'm going to like Strother quite a bit. And then if Braun is in, Jokic has just been phenomenal. I know that one game he was chalky and just absolutely sucked. But outside of that, I mean, he's been just incredible. He's always going to be one of the better spin-ups on the board. Jamal Murray looked good in his first game back. I don't mind him. Played 32 minutes in the blowout. Looks like he's going to be full go. Bad matchup, but still fine. MPJ, not with everyone back. Not for me. I like Aaron Gordon quite a bit at 5.5. I think this price point is just too cheap. She'll play low 30s minutes. He should be near 6K, so you're getting about a $500 discount there. Braun's fine. Don't love it. And yeah, that's mainly it. Would really like to target like a Strother if Braun's out. Moving on, Sacramento, fine spot here going up against Denver. Sabonis, I think, is one of the better point per dollar spin-ups on the board. Denver's just been really bad against opposing centers this year. They've been bleeding rebounds, etc. So I think Sabonis looks really, really solid. I think he's one of my more favorite spin-ups on the board. And this grouping of like Fox, DeMar DeRozan, I think are playable. I think I prefer Fox to DeMar in a vacuum. I like Malik Monk. The good thing with Malik Monk is he's handling the ball a ton. Look at the assists. He's going to chuck when he's out there. He's going to play big minutes. So I am pretty high on Malik. I think I prefer him to DeMar. And then Keegan Murray at 5.7. With no Kevin Huerter, his minutes are going to be really safe. You could see him push for close to 40 minutes tomorrow with no Kevin Huerter. And then you see a bit more like Keon Ellis. He's playable, large field value. Moving on to Utah. Not the best matchup here going up against the Clippers, but the Clippers are going to be without Derrick Jones Jr., so that helps a little bit. Utah is going to be fully healthy, so you're going to see like Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton kind of split guard duties, and then Keontae George will get his normal like 30-ish minutes game, which makes him a fine play. I think this production's been a little bit of an outlier, but still fine. I like Walker Kessler. I mean, how many times am I going to say it? He's low owned every slate. They are playing him all the minutes he can handle right now. He should be a 7K player if he is playing mid-30s minutes, and he is not. So price point actually came down. I just don't get it. So really high on Kessler. I'm going to say it again. John Collins' rates at the 4 compared to the 5 have not changed much this year at all. He is just produced at every position he has played this year. So I'm fine with John Collins. And then Mark is just too cheap at 6.9. So like Mark, I think Collins is fine. Really like Walker Kessler. Key would be my favorite of the guards. I'm not playing any of the value. Moving on to the Clips, I like a lot here. I love James Harden, one of my favorite point per dollar spin-ups on the board. I absolutely love him. I really like Zubac at 7.1K. Norm Powell I really like. Kevin Porter Jr. is decent value. Now, I will say he got extra run through the blowout. He actually only played 8 first-half minutes, so be a little bit careful there, but I would expect around 20. Makes him a good value, good point per minute guy off the bench. I like Dunn for value. And then what else? I think that's mainly it. Mir Coffey's playable. Nick Batum started. He played 22 minutes. He's a viable punt. I think it's decent actually. He was on pace to play a bit more before the blowout. So like me some Batum there. Alright guys, I think that's gonna do it for the slate. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hopefully you won in some NFL, NBA. I will recap my lineups tomorrow night. But yeah, like I said, Porzingis got injured, so I'm not expecting much. All right. Have a good night.